It's time to Hoff, actually. Hello, ESA. This is Untitled 2, the game. I'm tocaloni1. With me is Epic Dude Guy.
Hello.
And let's get right into it. 3, 2, 1, go. That's actually bad. I played on normal. Okay, that's fine. I'll fix that. Maybe. Can I fix that? I can't. Okay. Just keep the timer running. Okay.
I love how that
whatever.
perfectly fits.
All right. So yeah, Untitled 2, the game, which means there was a first game which we don't talk about. There was also apparently an NES game which I like maybe, I don't know, whatever. So we control Kit, the smart car from the Untitled TV show from the 80s and 90s, and maybe there's a reboot, I don't know, I don't want to know actually. And the first thing we do is bunny hopping. You do it by holding W and space. Sphere, what do you say? Is it bunny hopping a good name, or is it? He likes it perfectly. Approved. Yeah, so you...
The Quake community approves.
Yeah. I mean, the Quake community is right next to me, essentially. STA world record holder, or so I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you can do in this game, which is pretty nice, you can buffer jumping or a bunch of inputs, actually, but jumping is the most useful. And if you chain jumping, you can see that your speed is continuously going up, like the max. Max kind of goes up. And it's actually like one might think, well, maybe the number in the bottom right corner is not accurate, because for other applications, it is actually not. However, for this one, it is. You can do the start, like the first, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, where I just held 2 buttons, didn't have to do anything else. You can time that with or without bunny hopping, and with it's like, I don't know, 10 seconds faster or so it's actually a significant difference. But it only really makes sense if you chain it for a long time, because at first your speed is, you know, not that far above the usual like 120 cap, whatever MPH means, I don't know. I'm European, I wouldn't know.
I think it's like football fields per hour.
Okay, that's good to know, thanks. Okay, so yeah, also, aside from the fact that we're in the tutorial level, which teaches us how to play the game, there are a few cutscenes in between. It's like cutscenes during gameplay you can skip. You can actually skip most cutscenes, aside from the one at the very start and the very end of a level. Problem is those are usually the longest ones, but they have some splendid dialogue, which we will get to hear eventually. Or so I hope. Okay, what other actions can we do in this game aside from driving and jumping? We can drive on 2 wheels, which we'll get introduced to in a bit. And we can also... Yes, we can also use weapons. This is a big upgrade compared to the first game, which I'm sure everybody played in the audience. By everybody I mean nobody, aside from the 2 losers. In the first game, the combat is rather interesting. And it's done by driving into each other. So there are no weapons, you just, whoever drives into each other more wins. I don't know, it also doesn't work.
It's really fun.
Yeah. It's like, oh, barely touched him, lost half your health. Oops. Yeah, so introducing weapons was a big step forward, which made this game, of course, an instant classic. As everybody, I'm sure, agrees. There are 3 weapons we can use. The first one is, as you saw, the laser beam, which was strong enough to melt giant ice blocks. And not just, you know, not a tiny hole into them, but they're just gone. That's physics for you. Then we also have the plasma gun, which will be our main weapon for combat. And then we have the missiles, which are, well, for kind of some scripted things like shooting a tower or... Well, to be fair, it's also for some combat later.
Yeah, the plasma gun can only be shot straight forward, and the rockets have like auto-targeting, basically.
Yeah, target function.
So you can shoot things that aren't right in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh,
so this is a threat. This is a threat I found 2 days ago. It's called hold left to buffer driving on 2 wheels. If you don't do it, it's legit hard to get into the 2-wheel mode thingy. Without hitting the rock, slowing down and dying, because, you know, kind of driving away from these missiles. which do not damage continuously. If you're too slow, you'll just outright die. It's like an avalanche right behind you. And yeah, if you hold left, it just goes into two-way mode whenever the game is ready. Wish I would have known that like a year ago when I still grinded this game.
Wow, you're going really fast now.
Whoa!
Twice as fast?
Yeah, it's like literally, it's even 2.5 times as fast. It's actually not. Our actual speed is like 150 or so, but it's okay. I actually rigorously tested that. What am I doing with my life? Anyway, so this is a cutscene, goes on for a bit, and there's story happening. Yeah.
I believe that was the last one, Michael.
Hey, buddy, why don't you scan what's left of that missile for clues while I talk to Devin?
Yes, Michael.
Michael, what a surprise. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty
No,
good.
better.
Oh,
Somebody just
sorry.
tried to shoot missiles at us.
What are you telling me?
We were just driving on this deserted road, and then out of the blue, these missiles show up. Kid is now scanning the debris for clues. Maybe Bonnie can look over the results and find out who's behind this.
Sounds very suspicious. Listen, don't drive to the Foundation. I'll send Bonnie in your direction with the semi. You'll rendezvous halfway.
And Toka,
Michael,
Yes, Robbie?
be careful out there.
Well, kid, you heard the man.
I'm
Okay.
sorry,
Get out
that
of these
was
mountains and find
Yeah.
Bonnie.
So
was
we'll
necessary.
be careful out there. It has to be done. Every marathon now, we have to imitate that dialogue. Okay, so this is the first, like the tutorial level is done, and now we're having some fun with totally intended things that will happen in a bit.
Because now we have like an actual level and not just driving in a straight line. Well, there's not much to do in this level yet, but
Now we're driving some then things will happen, maybe, if I'm doing it correctly. There's actually a bit of lore to the upcoming trick, which I'm sure Robbie will elaborate on.
yeah,
when it happens.
there's a gate that Toka wanted skipped for quite some time, so I eventually looked into it and found a really cool way to like drive over it, and then Toka decided to completely ruin that skip with something else.
Should still work. Yeah,
Just-
it does, yeah.
You
Oh,
just
oops.
run into it or drive into it and then reset the car, and then
Yeah.
you're behind the gate.
Yeah, it's supposed to activate like I think 4 levers and like go back all the way to the first town and then find like look for levers or so. Nah. No thanks.
So yeah, it's the classic sequence break of like getting over this door skips a bunch.
Yeah, what actually happened, or what I think happens there is, so you drive into this cutscene right before the gate, and if you skip it quickly enough, like if you skip the cutscene quickly enough, there seems to be a dissonance, like a difference between your hitbox and your texture. So when, by driving into the gate, my texture is still in front of the gate, of course, but my actual hitbox seems to be like slightly behind it, which hits a checkpoint trigger, and this game has a feature where you can reset checkpoints conveniently, like reset to the last checkpoint you hit or something like that. And because that's behind the gate, that's where we spawn. It saves like I think 1.5 minutes or so, and it's actually free, unlike this stupid like drive sideways over the gate. Like, how would you even find that? It's so nonsensical. Still glad you're here though.
You're welcome. Luckily, some of the other skips are still in their
Oh yes.
premium state.
Yeah, if you want to do I'm not driving fast, I can't. So we kind of skipped that in the last level. In this area we skipped into with checkpoint behind the gate, there was supposed to be a big laser, and in a like in the cutscene where we actually go through the gate, there's a like I think it's in the cutscene. The big laser in that area hits you and disables some of your functions, some of Kit's functions. One of them being the SPM mode. I think another one being weapons. Can I actually try that? Yeah. Okay. I'm rediscovering things. Cool.
That was close. get back to the semi.
Okay, Michael. Mission
Okay.
completed.
Alright, let's do some actual combat. This is mission 4 out of 11. But not on these enemies. I don't care about these enemies. More care about this tower. Okay. So that was one of the kind of pre-scripted events. You have to destroy the tower to open a path. And then you have to destroy these enemies coming out of the gate to activate the next switch, which enables, or which activates an elevator. The thing is, you wouldn't need to kill the enemies, strictly speaking. The problem is, if you scan these terminals, that's the term, these terminals, while being attacked, like if just a single shot hit you, this scan is aborted, doesn't work anymore. And you know, you see the scan is going on for a bit, so the chance of you scanning the terminal without getting hit with 6 enemies right behind you, not all too high in my experience, but well, it's just in bad RNG, I don't know.
Yeah, there's actually a skip in this level that's kind of stupid, really hard to do.
Kinda
But you
stupid.
can, the elevator that Toka just took, you can actually jump on it from one of the other platforms with the jumps.
Yeah, like this
Insane.
this upper level of the map. You can jump from one to the other. It's a really precise jump, where you essentially kind of you jump into one of these crates in a somewhat tilted way, and it boosts you over. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you see it, you'll be like, ah, okay, well, I mean, I guess that works. That will be your reaction. That was my reaction, at least. Even more so when I grinded for the segmented run from 3 years ago, which is now, I think, I don't know, 3 minutes slower than world record or so.
Gotta love segmented runs.
Yeah, here another small thing. The checkpoint is on the lower level, so if you're up there and we reset checkpoint, we can get down. So we don't have to drive all the way around or something. It's pretty convenient.
So yeah, you can see that the plasma gun is really powerful for these things. Like, you can really just spam the button, and yeah.
Yeah, there's no real cap
Makes
to the
for a
plasma
pretty
gun,
high-
like how fast you can shoot. Although a single plasma gun shot is pretty weak, like the frequency really makes this weapon the most effective in fight.
Yeah.
Whoop. You can also technically use the laser, but slow.
Mission completed.
I wonder what's coming up now.
So next is mission 5, and this is also a very prominent area for skips. There's a lot of looping around, and one of the loops is going through here. You can actually do the
Easy.
epic spin glitch,
First try.
which if you blinked, you
You
missed.
all right, old buddy?
But yeah, there's a very weird glitch that if you go from standstill and turn around, at some point you kind of drift a bit, and if you then at that point jump and go into ski mode, like the tilt, at the same time, you kind of spin really fast, like I don't know how else to say it, and that causes Skip to yeah, like go through walls and stuff.
Where are
If you set it up properly, you can actually go through that laser gate, which otherwise would be just a death barrier, and that skips quite a bit, I think.
Actually, if you
Sure,
do this kind of tech in more open areas, not in a tunnel like this, you can, or you'll find out that Kit is actually like going in circles really fast and really high, and the tunnel kind of shields you off, which is nice because on the one hand you land on the other side without hitting the laser gate. On the other hand, your speed is still somewhat capped, capped as in to cap. And that's actually helpful because if you go too fast, game kind of crashes.
Yeah.
Oops.
If you do it in an open area, you will always crash.
Yeah.
At least to our experience.
I mean, not always, but it's like 99%.
Yeah. We used to crash a lot in the Mission 5 itself as well, but with the current setup, it seems to be pretty good.
The skip was actually found like a few months ago or so, or was it
Yeah, like
this or last year? I don't know. It's somewhat recent.
It's the most recent skip,
Yeah,
I guess.
for sure. Yeah, also these terminals in this level, we can skip the cutscene after activating. In the previous one, we couldn't. Or like also in Mission 4, we couldn't. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Oh, cool. Speaking of missiles as a weapon, here we go. That's actually bad that he hit me there.
Yeah, this fight is kind of difficult. The chopper does a lot of damage, and sometimes you just cannot avoid it. And sometimes your rockets miss. You need to hit 21 rockets, so you start off with the first one at the start, and then you do 5 every time.
Yeah, it's actually faster to fire in packs of 5.
Should
Kind of.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you load out the missiles during the locking of the target.
Yeah.
Works out quite nicely.
I think I actually timed that at some point. Like it's the 1 times 5 missiles is half a second faster than 5 times 1 or something like that. It's not also surprising, honestly. Okay. Mission 7, this is one of the longest, also one of the most fight intensive. Oops. Okay. Yeah, donation, sure.
Kadarev donated $15. Pew 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 pew.
Pardon?
Thanks, Kadarev. Whoever that is.
Yeah. Hope you're enjoying this run. From wherever you are. Okay, so there's one small tech we're doing here. It's called not jumping. Fuck. It's not the tech. No, the tech actually was to load up missiles before this small cutscene happened. It's kind of weird. Some cutscenes, if you charge up the missiles, some cutscenes will make the missiles retract again. Some don't. That was one of the cutscenes which would have kind of disabled our weapon, so we would have have to charge again essentially. But later cutscenes in the level don't do that. You can charge missiles, go into the cutscene, skip it, and then the missiles are still there. Really useful to destroy some big lasers later on. Oh, cool. Oh, yes. See that movement, though. Okay, so here's a timed sequence. We only have, like, what's it? I think, 20 seconds to get through here. But if you time, like, 1 second on that in-game timer is not quite 1 second.
Oh,
it's more like, 1.5 real-time seconds.
Okay. It's kind of weird.
I'm not sure what they thought. Like, no, I actually have no idea. What could you possibly do as a dev? Like, I don't want accurate timers, just whatever. Here's another exception of the rule. Usually if you use missiles, you need to kind of target them, but with that one you can actually just stand underneath the, oh my god, stand underneath the barrels and shoot, and that will hit. Because the barrels are kind of in the trajectory of the missiles. So, yeah, that's the one exception to aiming. Up, okay. So let's do some fighting. I'm not sure why I reset position that. Doesn't really matter. So these fights are on a timer, like they're cycles. And all of the gates, except for the last one, has 2 waves of enemies coming out. And the enemies at the next gate, like the timer will go down as soon as all the enemies from the previous gate are destroyed. So it doesn't matter how fast I kill these first 3 enemies. It's more about these last 3, which is why I want to line up for them and then mash the button and then get it. Actually, because it's a marathon, I want to go save and get some energy. This is a device which should have been introduced levels ago, but why?
Don't need it.
Yeah, if you need to refill your energy, you suck.
Yeah,
unless it's in a marathon, then it's okay.
You've probably been able to see that the main strat for killing enemies in this game is just spawn killing them. It's really useful because as soon as they start driving around, it's really hard to hit them.
Yeah, especially the small. So there are 3 types of enemies in this game. You see small ones, these medium size and then the really large ones. And the agility kind of scales as you would expect. The small ones are really trolly. They drive around you in circles. That's actually something they programmed. And the big ones essentially stay in place, but their attacks are the strongest. Okay, there's 2 more. And then 2 terminals. And then more fighting.
No, more robots.
Yay. Okay. Also, you can't damage these enemies before their script finishes, like their script of getting into position, like their initial position of the fight or something.
Also a cool strat here to scan and shoot the missile at the same time.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Should actually prioritize the terminal because that one takes longer than charging up and actually shooting. Okay, 2 cutscenes. Oops. So this is one of the cutscenes, as you saw, where you keep your missiles, keep through it. So you can charge up before, destroy this laser thing, which hit me for 2 frames, and now it's destroyed, annihilated, I want to say, by my superior weapons. Oops. I wonder why fighting in this game is not fun. Can't quite pinpoint it.
Let's get 'em.
Okay, let's get him. Same thing here, 2 waves, so it's more about the second one.
More robots are heading our way.
Oh, come on. Okay. And 2 more terminal. No, wait, enemies. I played this game before, I promise. Oops.
Please
Okay.
be more careful.
I was wondering, like, that's not the terminal I usually scan first. Something's off here.
It's fine.
Yeah, this is probably the most fighting we'll see in the whole game. More terminals. You can actually drive while scanning these terminals, but as soon as you do something, like, I don't know, fire missiles or whatever, or jump, it stops.
We destroyed
Or get
the
shot.
robots.
Like anything, actually.
I believe these are barracks for the robots. Michael,
You have become quiet.
Yes, buddy. I've got a lot on my mind, I suppose.
would you like to talk about it?
No.
Whoa, sorry.
It's difficult to find the right words. It's like when you think you see something in the corner of your eye, but when you turn your head, it's not there.
I think I know what you mean, Michael. The definition I know that comes closer to it is instinct.
Get the driving dictionary. It's like Merriam-Webster executable or something.
Mission completed.
All right, boss fight. You can argue that this is the first boss fight or the second one, depending on if this chopper fight is something you'd call a boss or not.
I would call it a boss.
This one has actual boss music, so this is what? Pardon?
Yeah, so the strat here is to let the semi drive over you, and then you're in perfect position to hit it from behind, which is where you need to hit it with
Yeah.
the laser.
So the absolute best thing that can happen is that Garth gets, not Garth, Goliath, gets stuck here, gets stuck in one of these corners, which can actually happen. But as you see, I'm not all too lucky. Also, you see there's this small cutscene where he charges up his front beam, which is actually quite powerful, so we really don't want that to hit you.
You can also
Okay,
use it
that's-
to our advantage.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is the cutscene kind of thing. And now his shield is deactivated, now this is phase 2, and we can hit him from the front.
So yeah, the charge cutscene can actually cause a cutscene
Come on,
skip.
come on, come on, come on. It was so close. One more? Okay. So I try this skip once, if it doesn't work, whatever. It's insanely precise, like timing wise. Come on, come on, come on. Woo!
Did you get it? Okay, so what happens is basically 2 cutscenes happen at the same time, one being the charge-up attack and one being the final cutscene of the boss fight.
Yeah.
And you can basically skip the short cutscene, and it also skips the longer
Yeah.
cutscene. So it saves like, I don't know, it skips
Like the last cutscene is like 50 seconds long, so if you get it first try, unintentional without setting up, that's the time kind of save. No,
nice.
I think I'm tilted.
Oh.
Oh no, oh.
Are
Okay.
you okay, nice.
Actual world record? No, it's
So
not
this
world
is
record pace.
Mission 9 skip. Very intuitive name. But the end of Mission 9 is actually close to the start, and I was tasked to find a skip for it, so I did. By driving on some collision, you can do some weird jumps and then make it to here, which is where the load trigger is for the ending cutscene of the level. So now we just drive back to where we were before and skip the whole mission basically.
Yeah, so the end cutscene is now loaded, and I can still fall off. I shouldn't though. Yeah, easy. That's also really
So that-
difficult.
yeah,
it's not as
that's
difficult as
pretty
the
difficult to
Mission
do.
8 cutscene skip, but
Like you use the SPM, like the boost,
yeah.
but during that you cannot jump. So you have to, do precise movement to get enough speed, and then release it early enough so you can jump, and then you have to jump at the very apex of their collision.
Yeah.
It's
So
it's
the
pretty
thing I'm
precise.
jumping off, it's not a roof, it's not a triangular thing, but it's more of a trapezoid or however it's called. Like it has some horizontal, like some flat roof thingy where you can
Yeah.
jump off.
It's like round, but with very large polygons.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe I got that. Like I got that cutscene skip
It looks
3
like
times in my life or so, and I tried for quite a bit to make it consistent.
Why don't we give up?
So do you have anything to say about this mission?
Oh, right. Yeah, so Toka was practicing yesterday, and we got to this mission, and then we were just like, let's find a skip for this. But sadly, it doesn't quite work as we wanted it. But you can skip this first fight basically by jumping over the first gate here.
Yeah, you use this terminal you scan to jump over.
Yeah, but
What? Okay.
But after that, stuff doesn't work anymore properly, like triggers aren't activated. So then we thought maybe if we just go even further, then it might eventually trigger just the ending cutscene. But sadly, it did not.
Did I
Like-
miscount?
Like we were able to find another out of bounds in this game, in this level,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool.
Are you all right, old buddy?
One problem with this game is that even out of bounds, like everything has collision. Even collision that doesn't make sense. So it's really fun to do stuff out of bounds. Oh.
But yeah, most of the
All those
like
robots coming from?
well, all of the levels end with a cutscene, and
Yeah.
in mission 5 we can actually go to the place where the cutscene would take you, but that still doesn't like progress you to the next level. So we have reason to believe that that doesn't work in any of the levels.
Yeah, that there are no physical level end triggers in that strict
Yeah.
sense, like in, okay. Like in, for example, Prince of Persia. Weird comparison, wherever I get that from.
Come on, buddy. We have to hurry.
So yeah, this is where we were trying to skip to.
Yes, Mom.
You can actually get like into that corridor
Yeah.
kind
You
of.
can actually see that tunnel behind, like below the rock or whatever, but it's completely walled off. Okay. So this is the last mission. It should take around 50 seconds or maybe 130. Kind of depends on how bad I am. Looks okay. So what you want to do there is you want to manip his position, like by hitting him with the laser from left and right, like interchangeably in a way. Could you not kill me? Oh my god. That worked pretty well. If it doesn't work, he drives into you and then he kind of drives around you as well. Not too desired. Okay, like now he'll drive into me. Now I'll have to improvise.
Did you get that move from Knight Rider 1?
This is Car, also the final boss Knight Rider 1. I mean, main antagonist Car from the whole TV series actually. This is fun, isn't it?
This looks optimal.
not much I can do. Every film, it's really frustrating. It's really stupid. I will actually die, I believe. That's... Oh my god.
I must charge my power. Mission failed.
Did you win?
Okay, let's try that again.
Great work, buddy.
That was too close.
You actually have to time this left and right thing. Like, if you do it too fast, he will not adjust properly. Yeah, kind of like that. Glad I can show this off. Oh my god. Why is this pain? There's actually some interesting story behind this level, IL-wise. So when I did the segment run, I introduced an IL leaderboard. So every of the 11 missions got a board lead, I'd say. And at some point, I got a notification on Speedrunning.com which says there's like a new run awaiting verification in Night Rider 2. I'm like, oh, okay. And there was this random guy who I've never seen before who got world record in this mission. Like, got this IL.
Better avoid the next one.
I don't know why. That was a few years ago. I took it back and then changed the rules. Time, by the way. Sorry. I was so deep into the lore. Timer. Button.
Please continue your story.
Yeah, so I took back his world record and then kind of changed the rules and rejected his run. There was no malicious intent. This actually had to be done.
Disable the main computer.
It's actually a pretty solid time, given the estimate was kind of tight. I think world record is 26, high 26 or so. Yeah, I'm kind of literally
RTA
on
or-
fire.
Is that RTA? 'Cause
No, I think RTA is 27. This game is like 1 minute of loads on PC. And on PS2 it's 10 minutes of loads. I mean, obviously. PC mastery.
My sensors indicated
Yeah, that's a funny thing. If you end the cutscene in the kind of ring of fire in the middle, you lose your health quickly, but not instantly. It's not an insta kill. So, if you find the middle, you will still be on fire in the cutscene. Obviously, and this is essentially Tomb Raider. No, where is he? There he is. I was looking for. Why I was looking for a white shirt.
Kevin on the phone for you, Michael.
Congratulations, Michael. And you too, kid.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Miles.
Some days,
Everything goes as planned.
Hello, Michael. You're the living
It's like the thing to say with sunglasses on.
can make a difference.
one man and his car.
And his car. Why?
the dialogue is just too good.
It's actually fire.
You heard the man.
Nice pun.
Oh, sorry. It's actually
I
unintended.
enable auto cruise.
You got it.
Got it.
Michael Knight, a lone crusader in a dangerous world. The world of the Knight Rider.
And
Mission complete.
mission completed. That's it. Thank you very much.
There we go. Thank you.
Hi.